Hey everybody, I wanted to talk today about the myths of nihilism. So I hear a lot of people have a lot of ideas about nihilism, mainly important like they think just one of the things about nihilism is obviously that morals are not justified or not real, they're fake. They're just belief systems, not concrete to reality. A lot of people, one thing people tend to like to say about that when it comes to that as well, morals no are not real or don't exist, and I can say either rape is okay or murder is okay, and then like as the understanding of a nihilist, from a nihilist perspective and understanding, is that anybody can say what they want. That doesn't make it the case. Like it's okay, you can say that all you want. I mean, there's nothing physically stopping you from saying that. There's nothing stopping you from convincing people from thinking like that, other than other people who may disagree with that. Right? But that's just the thing. People can disagree with that. We don't have to take that as the case. It's not concrete to reality, to the reality we're based in. Like your ideas, your thoughts is not concrete to the reality we're based in. That's just how you're thinking. That's just what you're going based off. Uh, it's not. So you can say that all you want. That doesn't mean anybody has to accept that it's okay. See, a lot of people forget that, okay, yeah, people can say these things. They can say things like rape is okay. They can say like murder is okay. But that doesn't mean people have to accept that. You don't have to accept what that person says. And you can go against that and convince people to your cause about being against that, as well as them trying to convince people to their cause being okay for that. It's so that's one myth about it. Like people try to say like, oh, nihilism things, all that. And then also a lot of things people try to say nihilism is like a bad, like if it brings depression and all that. Nihilism doesn't bring depression. Nihilism is simply an understanding of the way the world is. You know what I'm saying? It's the understanding of how the world is, or maybe simply just even just an interpretation of how the world is portrayed or something. All right, from that perspective. But that's what everybody's doing. We're see as a nihilist, we understand that's what everybody's doing. We're looking at the world and trying to interpret it. Okay, so even a nihilist will accept that nihilism does not have to be accepted as absolute. We see nothing as absolute because we're all just trying to simply here trying to interpret this the best way we can. I mean, yes, there's some scientific things, but like even when it comes to uh, concrete truth, when it comes to that, there still has to be a basis to determine that as a truth. If one person is seeing something, but everybody else not seeing that, it's likely we're gonna say that person is being delusional. What they seeing is not real or anything. You know what I'm saying? Because the basis is, all right, we don't see it. We're not seeing it. What are you seeing? One person's just seeing thing out of a million people. All right. See, there you go. Concrete truth has a basis. Even concrete truth. Not even just a subjective truth and all that, or I forgot. It was like codependent truth. It's codependent truth, pragmatic truth, and then there was the third one. Hmm. It was another. It was a C. It was two C's and a P. Two C's and a P for the different types of truth. Oof. Evidence-based truth, pragmatic truth, the undeniable truth, but even undeniable truth needs evidence-based truth. It still needs a basis. Every truth needs a basis to be determined if true. This is where truth is really, this is where nihilists see truth as just a concept, and there's no way we can really know anything. As every way, every knowledge needs a basis that can be unfounded at some point. Every knowledge needs a basis. All knowledge needs a basis. There is no absolute truth. Truth needs a basis to be established as truth. Oof. That way, when something goes against that basis of truth, we can determine that as false. That is how truth works. So even now with depression and all that, depression, I can tell you as a nihilist, there's no depression associated with nihilism. A lot of depression comes from people who is nihilistic depression comes from people who crave some sort of purpose in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like I was never really one who really craved purpose like that. That was not something that looked at my world and just simply saw what we can do with it. That's about it. But purpose to me is something that's created. You create that. That's not physical. You know, you have to you can't even create it. It's really just a concept that you adhere to. You know what I'm saying? This is like something that's important to you. You value this, so you dedicate yourself to either increasing it, expanding it, or whatever. That is your purpose. You know, that's how you created your purpose. We classify that as purpose, and there's responsibilities that come associated with that purpose. Because all right, you want to maintain everything. We notice that things require maintenance and all that. You know, even ideologies require maintenance, or else they'll just fade away. You know what I'm saying? So you have to keep contributing to that, or else it'll fade away. You know what I'm saying? Or die off, just like all things. You know, all matters in constant state of decay. This is so that's the responsibilities associated with truth. See, a lot of people think nihilists are lazy. No, nihilists are not lazy. We're not trying to get away out of from any responsibilities or nothing. We understand that all this is just conceptual. It's not physical. It's not real. These are things we're putting on ourselves. We're not obligated to do these things. There's no real thing. There's no such thing as obligation. That was just a word that we created to state that we have to do something to maintain something. Okay? And that all depends on what we want to maintain, to be honest. So, yeah, and I say even to be honest, but even on that honesty is basis. Has a basis. Everything has basis. Nihilists are not depressed. We're not trying to get out of responsibilities. It's not because we don't see our own lives as valueless and meaningless. I mean, yes, we do, but we see all life as valueless and meaningless. It's not just applied to one person. It's not a depression react. It's a state of arguments that goes against another set of arguments. You know what I'm saying? This is what makes nihilism a philosophy. That is what makes it a philosophy. It's not an emotion. It's not a reaction. It's not none of that. It is a philosophy. That goes against another philosophy or argues against another philosophy. The philosophy of absolutism, fate, determinism. Determinism. I mean, determinism is kind of hard. I mean, you can determine your outcome for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Outcomes are how you go. But there's some, it's like your determinism, just because, based off your determinism doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the outcome that's supposed to be there. So that's where the nihilism comes in. Like, yeah, you can say that, but like sometimes what you determine doesn't always work out, Sometimes other factors come in and render that choice meaningless. So, you know what I'm saying? So even that's nihilism rejects determinism as well as fate, absolutism, all that rejects all that. There's no, nihilism is simply a rejection to what is considered to be absolute. People can say like, this is the way, this is just how things are. No. Nihilism says, no, that's not just how things the way are. You made it that way. Simple. It's not about depression. Nihilists are not depressed. No, somebody can't just be like, oh, rape is good. Everybody just gonna follow along with it. No. No, because that's not true. If that was true, then why would we make laws against it? Obviously, at one point, people saw that as acceptable. And then later on, he's like, fuck, nah. Sorry, excuse me, YouTube. But, nah, not accepting that. You know what I'm saying? Just having your way with it of a person if you wanted to. Nah, we disagreed. He's like, no, we don't want that. You know what I'm saying? That's just simply how it is. All right. People can accept murder as, just a way to live. Fuck it, we're just gonna murder. Like, no, you don't have to. That's the thing. That's the whole thing about nihilism. Nihilism goes into that and exposes that. As a nihilist, I expose that. You know what I'm saying? That your way is not law. It's not absolute. You can live life being a nihilist. It's not hard. It's just a simple understanding that what people say to be is true is not necessarily true. You know what I'm saying? Truth itself is just a concept, as well as all these other ideas that we just come up and spew up interpretations about reality and all that. It's just, that's all what it is. Something we invented, you know? So, there's like two myths about nihilists being lazy. Well, no, there's sorry, three myths not about nihilists just being lazy and want to reject responsibilities. That's false. And nihilists being depressed, people just depressed. Like, yeah, there are pessimistic nihilists, for one. Let me get into that. There are pessimistic nihilists. But they start off as being sad. Like I said, they crave some sort of purpose in their life. And, like, I guess a lot of people say parental figures failed to give that to them or something. They just, but even as I look at it as even as an adult, I mean, your parents are not always going to be there. So, like, sometimes you need to find something out on your own. So, like, even if you did have your parents, sometimes you had to figure yourself out. I mean, you could just do whatever your parents say for the rest of your life if that's something you desired. I mean, you can't figure things out for yourself and just find your own sense of whatever things you value and all that. And that's what simply embracing. Actually, let me tell you one thing. Simply embracing nihilism can actually help you discover more about yourself. You know what I'm saying? About what you prefer, you know? To do. It can actually help you. I mean, it helped me. I mean, some people it doesn't really help. Some people they just end up suffering. They just fall into that depression mode, and then the nihilism of everything just kicks in. And it's oh my gosh, life's meaningless. Nothing's worth saving. Blah 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 blah. As a nihilist, I could tell you, I hear that all the time. I'm just like, ugh, whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, I'm a nihilist, but I'm looked at as the more optimistic versions of nihilist because like nihilism fills me with joy. It fills other people with sadness and despair. It fills me with joy and more readiness and want to strangle the universe. I know. I want to strangle the universe, but yeah, it's like fuck it. I don't know. I'm gonna take whatever you throw at me. I get it. You're gonna treat me as meaningless and purposeless, but hey, if humans accepted that their whole lives, then guess what? We wouldn't have got anything. We wouldn't have got anywhere. So. I don't care. Gravity's crushing me. I don't give a fuck. I'ma still stand. You know what I'm saying? I'ma still stand. Yeah, this is being banned off YouTube for that, definitely. But yeah, like yeah, gravity's crushing me. I'ma still stand. Nihilism says my life is meaningless. I'ma still live. So, I don't care. Hey, life is meaningless. You ain't really gotta worry about anything. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna die eventually, or some random factor might take you out of this existence, at any moment. Hey, it is what it is. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I'm gonna do me. That's all I can do. And this is simply the understanding that I have as a nihilist. I'm gonna do me. That's all I can do. It's just that when someone tries to impose their way on me, I'm be like, back off. Nah, I'm not accepting that. It's not even true. It's all false. You can see the falsitivity in anybody's. That's actually a word. I don't know if I used it correctly, but that is a word, falsitivity. It might be falsitivity or just my falsitivity. I think it's falsitivity. Still, it's a word, but it's a word. I've looked it up at one point. It's a word. But yeah, still, you can see the falsitivity in almost everybody's statement. When someone's trying to assert something as this is the way, you have to accept it. Obviously, it's likely false, and that's some insecurity. And that person who's into psychology, that's usually some type of insecurity going on with that person that they feel the need to assert their way on everybody else. It's an insecurity. They don't feel secure in their own beliefs, so that's why they need to stretch out their beliefs out to everybody. Hey, so they need to stretch their beliefs out to everybody, make everybody believe what they believe because they don't feel any sense of security. And really, if they feel sense of security from the backing of other people coming in and telling them, yes, your beliefs are valid. Yes, they're acceptable. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they outstretch, because they need that. That's what they need. They need other people to make them feel validated. So stretching your beliefs out, trying to assert that on another person, make it feel like your beliefs are the law. This is the way of life. This is what you have to accept. No, that's not true. Never was true. Never the truth to begin with. You just don't feel secure in what you believe in. So you need everybody to believe what you believe, because you need others' validation. That is why you. That is why you do that. That is why you think that way. You know what I'm saying? But that is why those people think that way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying y'all directly. I'm just saying, like, people out there who do that. That is how they think. That's what's going on in their mind. They're feeling an insecurity in themselves. That's forcing them to be like that. And, well, not forcing them. They're just letting it be like that. But even still, that's it. That's simply it. I mean, I don't really have so really I just only tackled 3. I thought there was more. Probably is more. I just can't really think of the others. Those were the main 3 that I like, that I hear a lot about. The press, listen to press, uh, about if morals are not real. People can just say whatever they want. No, I mean, yeah, they can say whatever they want. It doesn't mean you have to accept it. And also the other one, Nihilist, just want to evade responsibilities and all that. Yeah, that dumb argument. I was about to curse again, trying to limit that. But yeah, trying to limit that. Cursing, signs of decline in vocabulary. So don't definitely trying to avoid that and use more words and expand my vocabulary. So a little self-regulation. See, something that's important to me. I want to know how to use other words. I don't want to have a decline in vocabulary. Like, I don't have dementia. Like I don't have dementia, but if I'm filtering every other word in for cuss words, and I was, looks like I have like something wrong with my brain. Obviously, I'm declining in something. So yeah, but yeah, I'll admit. See, that's something important to me. So I make it my own duty, my own responsibility to expand my vocabulary. Stop cursing so much. Stop filtering words with cuss words and actually use actual words, like other words. Words in the dictionary actually come off as a little bit intellectual. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I prefer people to see me, intellectual. I'm always using this. And I want other people to understand that this is what I'm always using. I'm always using this. It's not like I'm just out here living, feeling. No, I'm always using this. And that's what I want people to see when they approach me, when they hear me speak. Said I'm always using this. So that's something that's important to me. That is my purpose, to come off as an intellect. So yeah. So that's personal to me. That's not something I'm gonna stretch on everybody else. Everybody else can live life however the hell they want. I don't care. Me personally, this is something I'm gonna focus on and work on, because that's what's important to me. How you present yourself, also people see that. People do see that. You know what I'm saying? There's some sorts of external validation, but not really. Just this is what I want you to see when you look at me. This is what I want you to see. I don't want people to, you don't have to accept. Well, you don't have to accept it, but at the end of the day, you gonna know that's what I'm using. But yeah, it's been as simple as that, people. So it was really just only 3 myths. Really thought there was more. Yeah, it's like a decaying values and all that, but like it's almost the same thing. Like saying the decaying values and people just not gonna know what to do with their lives is false. So not really all that. You don't really decay in values. Is actually you look at values a little differently. So you just look at it differently, but it doesn't necessarily mean you don't have those same values. So that's pretty much it. Well, I guess that's it. I tackled the three main myths of nihilism that people like to use all the time. All right. So stay tuned for more.